Year-to-date rankings, a couple of new centers in the mix. Month-to-date rankings, a whole bunch of new centers in the mix. Backyard Bash discount still in full gear. August PAMS ad is sweet. Missing information, we're going to talk about that. Network down 9%. Seriously? I don't think so. I'll explain why in just a moment. Let's get started with the year-to-date rankings. Year-to-date rankings, we've got a couple of new centers in the top 25. Here are your top 25 through the close of business yesterday. St. Joe's, Denver, Sedalia, Huntsville, Hewlett, Bentonville, Cary, Lindenhurst, Ramsey, Dallas, Colorado Springs, New York 24, Sacramento, Wilmington, and Grand Island. Here are your top 10. Greenville, Midland Park, Jonesboro, Hamilton, Albertson, Winston-Salem, Rye, Germantown, Memphis, and Little Rock. And there's about, first of all, good job, Kristen. There's about a 6K difference between number 1 and number 2. So that battle will continue to heat up as we make our way through the balance of the year. We're only missing 2 centers that have not reported all year long, and you know who you are. Let's take a look at our top 25 for July. We have Wilmington, this is in reverse order obviously, Wilmington, Denver, Sedalia, Ramsey, McAllen, Grand Island, Albertson, Lincoln, Monette, St. Joe's, Colorado Springs, Queensbury, Greenville, Huntsville, Winston-Salem. Here are your top 10. Dallas, which I'm going to talk more about in just a moment. Rye, Sacramento, Midland Park, Sunnyside, Jackson, Jonesboro, Little Rock, Germantown, and Memphis. And there's only about a 4-click difference between Memphis and Germantown right now. So I have a sneaking suspicion that Ty and Jason are going to have their crew fired up for the remainder of the month, next week and a half, to really push those numbers up. Now, here's where we're running into a problem. Right now, the network appears as though it's down 9%. At least it smells like it. When in fact, if I apply the averages for the centers that have failed to report data so far for both July and June, and believe it or not, I got a few standouts for May, we're actually showing that we're up 10 or 11%. So let's just take a look at the centers. These are the centers that, as of right now, I don't have data, and I'll make a quick comment, and I'm going to tell you about Dallas. St. Leonard, Sudbury, Sault Ste. Marie, Orangeville, Calgary, Yakima, Centerville, New York 591, Stockton, San Diego, Connett, let's see here, North Platte, Bentonville, Jacksonville, Joplin, San Antonio, East Islip, Massapequa, Littleton, Palm Desert, Cypress, Seattle, Syosset, Marysville, Oakdale, San Antonio, Hicksville, Wake Forest, Pasadena, Panama City, Lindenhurst, Charlottesville, Ridgefield, Everett, Brooklyn, let's see, New York 24, and Jackson. I haven't got any data for you for July. Now, I can hear the phone calls already, but I sent it in. If you did, and it was before 10 o'clock yesterday morning, it got posted yesterday, but I will apologize to you right now if you sent it in and somehow the data got put on a shelf somewhere over here. Let us know, and we will go out and look for it. The more important thing is, I know that's in the minority of cases. The majority, overwhelming majority of the centers I just listed haven't reported any sales data. And a couple of them are always calling for help, but we don't know what their problem is if we don't know what their sales data is. So it's kind of difficult to provide assistance. So let's sharpen up. Let's be strong, successful business people, and let's keep an eye on exactly what our sales are. Just like Fran Dalton does in Dallas, Texas. I have to tell you a quick story. I think it was about 2 years ago, I had a mishap in the rankings, and Dallas ended up way up at the top. Got a call from a franchisee saying, these numbers are all wrong. I said, how do you know that? Well, because Dallas is like number 3, and we never hear from Dallas. Well, that was the case back then. There was a brief period. But then Fran Dalton moved her location, and all of a sudden, all craziness broke loose. All of a sudden, all kinds of sales. Her and her counselor, Clarine, who is an absolute trip. If you've never met Clarine, you're missing out on a life experience. And here's just an example of what's going on in the Dallas Center. They broke the 100,000 mark in reported sales last week. They're on a roll with their advertising. They're on a roll with referrals. They've got this new location they've had for about a year and a half now that's been very successful for them. They've been running between $4,000 and $6,000 a week. They broke $6,000 last week. All that while the franchisee, Fran Dalton, has, from my chair, had to deal with untold tragedies on a personal level with her family and friends, yet has kept an outstanding positive attitude. has focused on the positive, counted her blessings, and has continued to drive that center very successfully. So I just want to say a big salute to Fran and to Claire Reed. For those of you that are, it was a Corncob County salute. For those of you that are Hee-Haw fans. Can't imagine there are too many of you. Diet Center Backyard Bash. Sorry, I saw it on TV Land or something a few days ago. Just a reminder, stock up, receive 6% off for the August promotion, which is your Backyard Bash. You'll get 6% off cheddar bites, pretzels, Cruncho barbecue flavor, Cruncho sour cream and onion flavor, chocolate mini crisps. The bigger or equal value, here's every time you order this week, your center is entered into a drawing for a George Foreman grill. You order 5 times, we put your name in 5 times. You order once, we put your name in once. So order early and order often, just like a good Chicago election. So get your chance for your George Foreman grill. If you have not had a chance to log on to PAMS yet, you want to do so. All of this information went up on the 15th. The protocol went out on the 16th for how to, along with your radio script, pick your weight loss, match your savings. All of the major advertisers are touting the fact that consumers are responding best to ads that give them the perception of some sort of choice. Can't tell you why. There's some psychological benefit to that, but it is working, so we're continuing with this type of a program. As far as missing information is concerned, when you hear something on the broadcast, you think, oh, I never got that email, I never got that fax. A couple of things. One, always go back and scan the previous DCWI News broadcast. You'll find that when you go to youtube.com/DCWI News, you'll see a whole listing of the broadcasts, and there are subheaders in there which list what the topics are. So try that first. Check your junk mail filter. Sometimes your internet service provider has upgraded your junk mail filter, and because we've sent an attachment or a hyperlink or something, it may be dumping it into your junk filter. I know it happens here all the time. Check your old faxes. Remember, everything we email you, we also fax you. But obviously, give us a call. We're more than happy to resend any information that you might need. But those are just some of the sources to look for any missing data. Now, I might have another update for you later today, because I have, again, a sneaking suspicion that we're going to have a ton of numbers come flooding in today once people hear their centers rattled off as having missing data for July. So in the meantime, have a great day, everybody, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.